Apple's Open World Conference turned controversial a couple of weeks ago after Larry Ellison canceled Salesforce CEO Marc Benioff's keynote address. Benioff then organized a flash conference of his own down the street where he warned us to beware of Oracle's false cloud.
Well, the message of this show is proprietary hardware and software is the future. And our message as we go around the world is beware of that false cloud. Beware of the false cloud because it is not efficient, it is not democratic, it is not economical, it is not environmental, it is not open.
For more on that dispute and Marc Benioff's vision of the future, let's head back to Cory at the Web 2.0 Summit. Cory?
That was a great Freudian slip for you. Your vision of the future. I mean, this wonderful battle you had with Larry a couple of weeks ago was interesting because it sounded like you guys are using the same words in different sentences.
Well, Cory, number one, nobody loves Larry Ellison more than I do. I worked for him for 13 years. He's my mentor and teacher. And what he's doing for Oracle shareholders is right. He says, buy my new proprietary mainframe. But our vision of the future is different. It's called cloud computing, and what that means is, and it's one of the reasons I actually brought Tim Campos as the CIO of Facebook with me to Oracle Open World. You know, he's got 1 billion users and 100 billion transactions on his network. We're a solution that he uses as part of Facebook. He has no proprietary hardware, he has no proprietary software, and it's true cloud computing. So is Amazon, so is eBay, so is so many of the web services that we use every day. But this concept of a private cloud, that you can have your own cloud in your data center, is what I call a false cloud.
But I don't really get that. I mean, it seems like a cloud is a cloud. I mean, it's not as if I could access the sales data of one of your customers like Burberry. I mean, that is in some sense a private cloud, isn't it?
What we think a cloud is something that is first and foremost a web service, something that you access over the web. Like we have a database cloud, it's called database.com, or like you said, our Salesforce automation service, it's salesforce.com. You can get in, it's elastic, it's self-service, it's easy to get going, there's no software to buy, there's no hardware to buy, there's nothing to install, there's nothing to upgrade. That's cloud computing. Let me tell you what cloud computing is not. Cloud computing is not, you have to buy this proprietary piece of hardware, you have to install the software, which is Oracle, you have to upgrade it, which is Oracle, you have to maintain it, you have to hire people to help you put it all together as part of a much larger solution. You know, it's two different versions, now we're using the word version, of what cloud is.
But they maintain, I mean, Larry maintains that it is also portable, that you can evolve it to some other database if you someday choose to, that you can move on, that you're not stuck with Salesforce if you want to change.
I don't know any Oracle customers that have moved their database from Oracle to DB2 or Oracle to SQL Server. The reality is Oracle has as much what I would call vendor lock-in as any vendor.
Let's listen really quickly what Larry Ellison had to say in response to your response to his cloud. Here's that Larry Ellison soundbite. He did really say some things. I swear the sound was off there. But when Larry shot back, he was talking about this sort of you're stuck with Salesforce if you go with Salesforce notion.
Well, you know, in our industry, and what I love about our industry, Cory, is there's a lot of competitive rhetoric, and that's why I always bring customers with me wherever I go. I want customers to see from other customers what the true story is. And like I said, you know, Larry Ellison is right for Larry Ellison's shareholders. Which is, these are big, expensive, complex systems like you have already in your company.
Right.
But if you want a different approach, if you want to try something new, that is this next generation scalable solution that you get right over the internet, that's this new cloud computing that Salesforce.com is the leader, and we have more than 100,000 companies using that. You know, and
I know. I was on the call. I want to talk to you more about these customers. Talk about the environment currently for Salesforce. Sit tight during the break. We'll be right back with Marc Benioff. Marc, you guys, your last quarter was really strong. You showed 38% sales growth. Your deferred revenue growth was only slightly under that at 37%. What do you attribute that to?
Well, I think that we're looking for change in our industry. We're seeing a movement to social computing. I mean, Facebook and Twitter, that's 1 billion users. We're looking at the change to mobile computing, iPads and iPhones and Androids, and we're looking at the move to cloud computing. And other vendors have really stalled on these three things. You know, our technology peers, the Oracles that we talked about, the Microsofts, the SAPs, they're slow to the gun on social, mobile, and cloud. And now we're really witnessing, a social revolution. Things have changed. We're actually in this beautiful atrium here at the Sheraton Palace. My grandmother actually used to ride her horse and carriage through this hall. This was actually the entrance to the hotel right here. She would go by in her horse and carriage.
This is where that great scene was in The Game, too, that great...
and things are still changing. Things are always changing like that. She's not doing that anymore. And the reality is, though, Oracle and SAP and Microsoft are still selling this old enterprise software.
The second largest,
that's the horse and carriage
let me ask you real quick. So
our industry.
The second largest database company in the world, IBM, just reported results. Revenue was disappointing. You maybe don't know, the stock was selling off in after hours. The suggestion there might be that corporate spending in IT is slowing down. Do you have any evidence of that? Are you seeing that in the most recent month or so with your company?
Well, what we talked about on our call is how excited we've been for this whole year, but really for a few years where we've seen this acceleration of our model. And you've seen, I think it was 9 quarters of accelerating revenue growth that we've had.
Right.
And that's because customers are looking for these new solutions. We're going into this
shift away, or
change.
is that a time of, even if spending's going down, they're spending more on you, or do you think spending's still strong out there? IBM's just missing the boat.
Even VMware, who had a great quarter today, did not deliver the 38% quarter that we delivered in our last quarter.
All right. Lastly, hiring. Jobs so important. You guys have been hiring like crazy. Do you think hiring will continue apace at Salesforce?
We can't find enough great people to hire. I mean, it's a tremendous dislocation in our industry. I just talked to Sean Parker, who you just had on. He has a new company. He can't find the people to hire. I can't find the people to hire. I think if you talk to 100 of my peers, CEOs of the top technology companies here in the United States and abroad, you would find they cannot find the people to hire. And we want the best salespeople, the best marketing people, the best engineers, and there's a dislocation between the opportunity and the supply. And that needs to be cured, and I think the government is confusing people, thinking that there isn't any opportunity in this country, but there is. And you see a lot of great new entrepreneurs building factories here, like Fisker, like Tesla, even General Electric just announced a new solar plant here in the United States. You see all these tech companies hiring here. We build everything, well, almost everything, 99% of everything we do, 3 blocks from here in San Francisco, for example.
Marc Benioff, really appreciate it. Thanks for running over here and doing this.
Great to see you.
Interesting stuff here.
Thank you.
Emily?